When a nation faces domestic collapse, it almost always looks outward for a quick fix. Expanding your borders to secure new resources looks like peace, but it is actually a trap. After suffering a crushing military defeat by the Roman Republic, the ancient civilization of Carthage was completely bankrupt. They couldn't even afford to pay their own mercenaries, who quickly revolted. The state was on the brink of total destruction. To save his country, Carthaginian general Hamilcar Barca took an army into the Iberian Peninsula, modern-day Spain. He set up a lucrative network of silver mines and began sending endless buckets of cash back home to rebuild Carthaginian wealth and power. Securing a nation's survival by extracting wealth from a foreign frontier creates the first unavoidable step into the escalation trap. Fast forward 2 millennia, and the early United States faced a similar domestic crisis. By the early 1800s, the American population was doubling nearly every 20 years. The average family had 7 children, and all of those people desperately needed living space. This map shows the immediate result of the American solution. To relieve the pressure, the U.S. government purchased the Louisiana Territory from France for $15 million, instantly doubling the physical footprint of the country. Expanding into a new frontier temporarily relieves domestic stress, but it guarantees future conflict. The newly claimed space pushes aggressively against territory controlled by other powers, and those frontier lands are never truly empty. Back in the ancient Mediterranean, Carthage's growing economic and military footprint in Spain made the Roman Republic deeply anxious. The Carthaginian recovery was staggeringly quick, and Rome wanted to halt their momentum. Rome executed a controversial political maneuver. They formed an alliance with Saguntum, an independent city sitting right inside the territory Carthage claimed, specifically to block further Carthaginian expansion. Hamilcar's son, Hannibal, viewed this as an arrogant Roman intrusion. His reaction was devastating. He besieged Saguntum for 8 cruel months, breached the city defenses, and massacred its people, effectively triggering the cataclysmic Second Punic War. Defending a newly acquired resource inevitably forces a rising power to strike preemptively. The effort to secure a domestic economy turns entirely into an aggressive military offense. The expanding United States collided with Mexico under the exact same mechanics. The Mexican government invited settlers into Texas, and thousands of American pioneers flooded into Mexican territory looking for free farmland. This massive demographic shift caused the settlers to quickly outnumber the locals. They revolted, declared independence, and ultimately convinced the United States to annex Texas. That localized border friction exploded into the Mexican-American War. The United States mobilized its military, defeated Mexico, and used the conflict to violently conquer its way all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Once a nation reaches its natural geographic limits, the sheer momentum of its expansion cannot easily be deactivated. Reaching the Pacific coast wasn't enough. To protect these massive new borders, the United States required a global navy and remote island bases, leading American businessmen to take control of the Hawaiian Islands. Shortly after, an American warship sank in a mysterious explosion. The U.S. utilized the incident to issue a strict ultimatum to Spain regarding its colony in Cuba: leave or face war. The escalation was rapid. The United States captured Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines, completely dismantling what remained of the Spanish Empire. This rapid territorial expansion empowered a young Theodore Roosevelt. As president, he brought an aggressive ambition to physically connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans to serve his powerful new navy. To bypass local resistance, the U.S. engineered the creation of the nation of Panama for the sole purpose of building a strategic military canal. What began as an innocent desire for simple farming land and living space mutated into a sprawling, violent struggle for total global dominance. Achieving superpower status is not a finish line, it is a permanent treadmill. Hannibal marched tens of thousands of men and 36 elephants over the freezing Alps to strike Rome. He achieved a spectacular invasion, but found his broken army trapped deep in enemy territory, forced to fight a relentless war of attrition. Once a nation claims the world's wealth and trade routes, it completely loses the option of peace. It must perpetually defend its perimeter. America's expansionist momentum did not end with the Panama Canal. Today, U.S. troops actively take fire and defend military bases in foreign nations like Saudi Arabia and Iran. It requires an immense, ongoing military effort just to maintain control over vital economic choke points like the Strait of Hormuz, keeping the lanes clear for global commercial shipping. Modern political leaders continue to frame these sprawling conflicts as necessary, easy victories for their domestic audiences. The empire building of Hamilcar Barca and Theodore Roosevelt operates on the exact same historical logic. Expanding your borders to solve today's problems only buys tomorrow's forever wars.